What if I told you that working harder is not the answer? You have spent decades showing up, earning, trying, and yet somehow the savings account never quite gets there. The month ends before the money does, and the cycle quietly, relentlessly repeats itself. This is not a story about laziness. It is a story about a broken system that nobody taught you how to escape. And by the time this video ends, you will understand exactly why the broke cycle exists, what keeps millions of hardworking people trapped inside it, and the precise steps to break free permanently. Stay until the end. What I reveal in the final chapter changes how you will think about money for the rest of your life. A quick note: everything in this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute professional financial advice. For decisions specific to your situation, please consult a qualified financial advisor. If you have ever felt that no matter how hard you work, financial peace feels just out of reach, this channel was built for you. What you learn here is not just for you. It is for every person who depends on you. Hit subscribe now, not as a favor to this channel, as a commitment to your own fiscal longevity and to the people you love. Now, before we go deeper, I want to hear from you in the comments below. Have you ever earned more money only to find you were somehow saving less? Have you ever felt that financial stress follows no matter what you earn? Or have you ever wondered whether the system itself is designed to keep you spending? Drop your answer below. You are not alone, and your story might help someone else watching right now. Here is the economic reality of 2026 that nobody in a suit on television is telling you clearly enough. Inflation has permanently restructured the cost of living. The emergency rate hikes of the early 2020s reshaped global borrowing costs, and consumer debt levels in most developed economies have reached historic highs. The playbook that worked for your parents' generation: earn a salary, spend modestly, retire at 65, has been quietly dismantled. For adults in their 40s and 50s, this is not an abstract concern. You are operating in a financial environment where the old rules no longer apply. The traditional savings account no longer outpaces inflation. A single income stream is no longer a sufficient safety net. And compound interest, the most powerful force in personal wealth, is working against you on your debts faster than it is working for you in your savings. Understanding the broke cycle is no longer optional. It is a matter of financial survival. Chapter 1. Income alone does not create wealth. Consider this: some of the highest earners in the world retire with nothing. Entertainers, athletes, executives, people whose annual income would seem to guarantee financial freedom. Why? Because wealth is not a function of how much you earn. It is a function of the gap between what you earn and what you spend multiplied over time. The broke cycle begins the moment a person confuses a high income with financial security. They are not the same thing. Income is a flow. Wealth is what you keep, invest, and protect. Chapter 2, Lifestyle Inflation, the silent wealth killer. Here is the insidious trap. The moment your income rises, your standard of living rises to meet it. A promotion arrives, and with it, a newer car, a larger apartment, a more expensive holiday. This is lifestyle inflation, and it is one of the most effective wealth destroyers in existence, precisely because it feels like a reward. The financially sophisticated response to a raise is counterintuitive. Save the increase before you spend it. Automate the difference into a savings or investment vehicle the same day it arrives. What you never see, you never spend. Chapter 3, Debt, the cycle's engine. High-interest consumer debt is not simply a financial burden. It is a mechanism that transfers your future income to a lender. Today, every pound or dollar you pay in credit card interest is income you earned in the future, already spent in the past. The broke cycle cannot be broken while high-interest debt is consuming compounding velocity in the wrong direction. The strategic priority is this: eliminate high-interest debt before aggressively building savings. Every debt repayment is a guaranteed return equal to that interest rate. And no savings account in 2026 is offering 22% annually. Chapter 4: The absence of financial systems. Willpower is a finite resource. Nobody successfully saves money purely through discipline and good intentions. Consistent savers have one thing in common: they build systems that remove the decision entirely. Automatic transfers on payday, standing orders into retirement accounts, budgets that assign every unit of income a purpose before it is spent. A spending plan is not a restriction. It is a declaration of your financial priorities. We are halfway through, and I want to pause and ask you something directly. Have you ever set up a savings plan, genuinely committed to it, only to watch it collapse the moment an unexpected expense arrived? Pause this video right now and type yes or no in the comments. Because if your answer is yes, Chapter 5 was written specifically for you. And if you are finding value in this, subscribe now. This channel is built for the long game. And so are you. Chapter 5, the emergency fund, your financial immune system. Without an emergency fund, every unexpected expense, a car repair, a medical bill, a broken appliance, becomes a debt event. And each debt event restarts the broke cycle from the beginning. 3 to 6 months of living expenses, held in a liquid and accessible account, is not a luxury. It is the foundation on which every other financial goal is built. Until that foundation exists, the cycle has an open door it will use every time. Chapter 6: Emotional Spending and the Psychology of Money. Money and emotion are inseparable. Stress, loneliness, boredom, and the desire for social validation are among the most powerful drivers of unnecessary spending. The retail industry understands this intimately and spends billions of dollars engineering environments, digital and physical, designed to exploit those emotional states. Recognizing the emotional trigger behind a spending decision is not self-criticism. It is financial intelligence. Before any non-essential purchase, the most effective question is not, "Can I afford this?" It is, "Why do I want this right now?" Chapter 7: The Compounding Cost of Small Expenses. A daily purchase of $4 does not feel significant, but tracked annually, it represents over $1,400, money that, invested consistently over 10 years at a modest return, becomes a meaningful sum. Small recurring expenses are not trivial. They are the slow leak in a tire that eventually leaves you stranded. Track every outgoing for 30 days. The results are almost always surprising. Chapter 8: Financial Education as an Inflationary Hedge. The most undervalued asset you own is financial literacy. Most people were never taught how money compounds, how debt functions, how inflation erodes purchasing power, or how tax-advantaged accounts work. That knowledge gap is not a personal failure. It is a systemic one. But in 2026, the resources to close that gap are freely available, and the cost of remaining financially illiterate has never been higher. Chapter 9: Behavior is the variable that changes everything. The broke cycle is not broken by a single dramatic decision. It is broken by the accumulation of consistent, unglamorous behaviors repeated over years. Saving before spending, investing before inflating your lifestyle, reviewing your budget monthly, declining debt that does not serve your long-term interests. None of these actions feels significant in isolation. Together, they are transformational. Chapter 10: It is never too late. Perhaps the most damaging belief in personal finance is this: I have left it too late. It is a belief that functions as a permission slip for inaction. The truth, supported by decades of compound interest mathematics, is that a meaningful improvement in financial habits at 45 produces significantly better outcomes by 65 than no improvement at all. The best time to start was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Here is the truth I promised you at the beginning. The one most financial content will never say plainly. The broke cycle is not primarily a money problem. It is an identity problem. As long as a person identifies as someone who is bad with money, every financial system they try will eventually be sabotaged by that belief. The most important financial decision you will ever make is deciding and genuinely accepting that you are someone who builds wealth. That identity shift is what makes the habits stick. Without it, the tools in this video are temporary. With it, they are permanent. The broke cycle is not your destiny. It is a pattern, and patterns can be interrupted, redesigned, and replaced. You now understand the 10 forces that sustain it and the specific actions that dismantle it, one disciplined decision at a time. Thank you for investing your time here today, because that is precisely what this was, an investment in your financial future. If this video gave you clarity, share it with one person in your life who needs to hear it. Subscribe to this channel for the long-term financial journey. New content drops every week. And watch next. You're 1 month away from broke and don't know it. The short that started this conversation, now with the full context to back it up. I am Hetty, and I will see you in the next one.